in Woburn. I'm your host, Samantha Stone. It is beautiful and bright and sunshiny, and we changed clocks, and it's not going to be dark at 5 o'clock tonight, and I couldn't be happier about it. I'm really excited to bring this episode to you. We have a lot going on, a lot of good things, good work across the city, and we're going to talk about some city updates as always, and some ways that you can get engaged in the community. First up, welcome Mayor Concanon. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, Samantha. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to have you with me today. I know we share office space, but today's been pretty busy, so I haven't actually spent a lot of time with you yet today.
Yeah, our Mondays, as we've said, they're usually pretty busy. We catch up and don't get a lot of time for chit chat, but it's good to see you.
Yeah. So I saw the Matilda Junior play was this past weekend, and it looked
Yep.
like a blast. Did you and your wife have a good time there?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We went Friday night and we're just blown away with what a great job the kids did. As you know, Anne Marie works over at the Joyce, so she knows a lot of the kids and particularly proud of them, seeing them all day. And then you see them up on stage and they just do a great job. And I think they said this was the biggest cast and crew they had ever had.
Yeah.
That they had a spot for every kid who wanted to participate. And I tell you, it's just amazing to watch. Not sure if people realize, but it's directed by high school sophomores who most of them participated in the show when they were in middle school. And also the directors ahead of them, who are now seniors, they also came to the show to cheer everybody on and support them. So to see that progression, from middle school to sophomore director to senior director heading off to college, it's really cool to see. And they talked about how much work the kids put into it, how many months they've been practicing, and to just watch them sing and dance and just have the confidence to be up in front of their peers and their community like that. It's incredible. The skills, the courage it takes to get up there. That'll serve them for the rest of their lives. The ability to, stand up in front of people and present is one of the skills that you can use no matter what you do the rest of your life. And I think it's pretty well known that most people, their biggest fear is speaking in front of public. And here you've got 13-year-olds singing and dancing and acting. It's amazing to watch. And I was so glad I was able to make it and so proud of the kids, the cast, the crew, and of course, the staff that helps.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, you had your own little theater debut over the with the high school performance of Elf, so you know what it's like being up there with all the lights and folks
I
around
do.
you.
Very, very stressful. I had one line and I was petrified I was going to mess it up. Uh, but yeah, I've had my share under the lights, and that's probably enough for me. I don't think I was built for that.
It was great. I definitely saw a lot of the kids, and I did have some friends whose kids were in the performance, and boy, were they excited! And what a great bonding experience. It was a joy to watch all that
Yeah,
energy
you
and
just see the
confidence.
excitement on their faces, and you know, I'm sure they were nervous as heck starting, but by the time they got going, it was like watching Broadway. No one missed any lines. Everybody hit their marks. The stage production was professional. And I tell you, the audience was thrilled. It was a full house. There wasn't an empty seat. And the cheering at the end was incredible. They were so excited and happy for their friends and so proud of them. It was really a cool thing to be part of.
Very cool. Not quite drawing the same size audience and cheering, but probably very important to us as a community. We started the site prep work at the PFAS water treatment plant, and that was a big milestone for us to sort of begin that. I guess we haven't technically broken ground because we didn't dig anything yet, but it's definitely moving forward. I just wanted to check in and see how you were feeling about that project and where we were headed.
Yeah, I'm pleased that we're able to get underway. Um, as we've talked about before, 5, 10 years ago, I don't think any of us knew what PFAS was. We had never heard of it, and we thought we were fine. And then we saw some tweaking of the standards at the federal and state level that prompted us to take a closer look at these forever chemicals that are in our water system, not just ours, but across the country and probably the world. Um, so we knew we had to take some steps to mitigate those issues. So we got ahead of a lot of communities and did the work, partnered with consultants, understood what was needed. With the support of the city council, we sought the funding and obtained the funding to begin construction. Uh, so, I think the estimate is maybe, 18 months to 2 years, we'll have this completely up and running, and we'll be well within the compliance at the federal and state level for any of these chemicals, and it'll be a problem that'll be behind us. So it's a necessary expenditure. It's a lot of money. It's something that 5, 10 years ago we weren't planning on, but it's something you have to do. So I'm glad to see it's underway, and we're on our way to having this problem behind us.
We spoke a couple weeks ago on the show with folks that gave them an update about the trash automation. At the time, we said we were still trying to figure out what the right size, I guess they call it cart is the official way. I call it a recycling bin, barrel, whatever you want to call it. But, the
Yeah.
device that we will give people that they can put trash in, where we did make some additional plans and finalize some things. And so I thought you might want the pleasure of announcing to folks what size carts that we decided on. I think
Yeah.
I think
So
people will be happy and also not very surprised.
yeah. So we ended up going with the larger size trash cart, same size as the recycling cart that people were given. I understand that there are some people for whom those carts are a little big. The other option would have been a 64 gallon, and I know that there are some people, those carts would be a little too small. So, as is the case with every decision we have to make, we try to find what's in the best interest of the greater good, what serves, most of the people best. And there is some wiggle room to deal with one-off circumstances if a particular bin is just too large for, you know, some sort of, medical issue or something. We try to be flexible, but we had to pick a standard bin to go with. So we picked the 96, hoping that that accommodates most people's needs. I think it's more likely to have, some of the larger families need more room. So I think this choice should resonate with most of the people in Woburn. And, we realize you can't please all the people all the time. And what we're trying to do is find things that work best for most. So that's what you'll see in July. You'll see the 96-gallon trash bin. This one will be yellow with the green top as opposed to the green and yellow recycling. But we hope that we've learned some lessons with the rollout of the recycling carts and that this will go a little smoother. But there might be a glitch here or there, and we'll work together to get through it.
Right. Thank you. At town hall that we had last week, which I appreciate, we had a lot of people come and ask excellent questions and make comments. That's what those forums are for. One of the
Yep.
things that was asked was around our open space plan, and we weren't quite able to completely answer that question. We needed to do a little bit of homework. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to meet with the team, but wanted to touch base today and see if you'd had a chance to get an update on that.
Yeah, we did. So at the town hall on Thursday night, Mike Benanati, one of the residents of Woburn, he's been on the Conservation Commission, very active in the city, volunteers a lot, has a special affinity for the pond in that area, is always trying to help make it better. Mike asked a question about the status of our open space plan, and I really didn't have an answer off the top of my head, but we did. We went back and looked. The good news is that our open space plan for the city of Woburn is current. It's up to date. It was updated sometime in 23. It was approved by the state. They give you 6 or 7 years to have that plan in place, and then it's basically a living document that you should always be looking at. But we have a little bit of time now. I expect that this time next year we'll start taking a look at where it stands and whether it's still timely, and is there anything else we need to do to plan to bring it up to speed. But the good news is our open space plan is in place. It's on the website. It's available for viewing. It's been blessed by the state, and it's something we'll continue to look at to make sure it's relevant.
Right, thank you. And I know a lot of people had some questions about specific projects that are sort of referenced in those plans. And we have separate project pages for people as things progress forward and we start to implement things, they
Yeah,
can find those things. And if anybody has trouble finding them, we'll make sure to point in the right direction. Sometimes it's engineering, sometimes it's planning, sometimes it's recreation, just kind of depending on what it is.
right. And there is a lot going on. There's a lot of projects in various stages of development throughout the city. So, between the city website, this office, each of the city councilors have been briefed. They're up to speed. They know what's going on. They can be a resource as well. But yeah, a lot going on. And, progressing quite well, I'd say.
Excellent. Next Monday is St. Patrick's Day, and we know that that's a special breakfast at the Senior Center every year. I'm excited to pop in and say
Yep.
hello to everyone. Are you excited to wear your green? I'm sure you'll be sporting your green tie in honor.
I am excited. I have a particular green suit that my wife helped me buy a year or two ago that every time I wear it, I get compliments. So I'll be pleased to wear it on St. Patrick's Day at the Senior Center. It's always a fun time up there. St. Patrick's Day is one of my favorite days, being of Irish descent. And actually, my mother will tell you that I was supposed to have been born on St. Patrick's Day. I was 4 days late, and that's why my middle name is Patrick. So I'm Michael Patrick. I named one of my children Patrick. So it's a big day in our family, and I can't think of a better place to spend it than with the seniors up at the senior center.
I love it. Do you have a special like corned beef and cabbage recipe that you do, or do you do a different kind of enjoyment? Drinking some green beer or something. I don't know.
When I was growing up in that Irish household, we had more corned beef and cabbage than I would ever care to have in the rest of my life. Well, I do not eat it anymore because I don't have to. So I'll have something else that day. I will not. I hope to never eat corned beef and cabbage again. I have too many traumatic moments of sitting at the kitchen table where I couldn't leave until I finished it. So I'll find something else. I'm sure Emery will come up with something nice for that day, something other than corned beef.
I'm sure there's lots of things that you'll be able to enjoy. One of my favorite things I had when I visited Ireland was a amazing shepherd's pie. That was the
Yep.
best one I'd ever had. And I think it was a Guinness shepherd's pie where somehow Guinness had ended up in the stew sauce of some kind, but
Yeah.
it was amazing. So I'm sure you'll find something special to have.
I'm sure we will
Excellent.
definitely.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me as always. I appreciate it. Before
Well,
I introduce our next guest, I just want to remind everybody who's watching that Kindness Day is this month. It's coming up quickly. It's on March 20th, and we have an amazing lineup of events across the city. It's available on the Woburn website, woburnma.gov/Woburn Cares. And hopefully you're seeing lots of people talking about the amazing activities that are happening across that day. We're going to talk a little bit more about it with one of our guests, Amanda Harvey from the Council of Social Concern. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
Always, there's always lots going on. You guys do really important work across the city. One of the things that I know is an exciting time for high school seniors. This is when a lot of them start to think about the ones that are college bound. Students will go off to do lots of amazing things. They might be in the military, they may go to right to work, they might go to a trade school. But those who are college bound are often looking for scholarships this time of year because it can be expensive to pay for. So I know that the council has a really special one in Mary's honor. Tell us about that.
Yes, so this is the second year of the Mary Lang Memorial Scholarship Fund. Mary was a longtime staff member and lifelong Woburn resident. So we honor her with this scholarship every year. It is two $2,500 scholarships awarded to a Woburn or Winchester High School senior who demonstrates a commitment to community service and to being civic minded and appreciating their community. They don't have to be headed to a four-year college. If they're going to a vocational school or trade school, they're also welcome to apply. They just have to have um, further education plans. Applications are open right now on our website, or you can email me for a paper application. My contact info is on the application. And the deadline is April 1st, and winners will be announced on May 1st of this year.
I love it. And how are winners selected? Do you have is it
Yes.
sort of a random based on it? Do you have a panel who's evaluating the applications?
Yes, so we have two stages. We have a panel of board and staff members that does the first round, and then the Lang family, her husband and her children pick the final two winners.
That's a very special thing for them, I'm sure.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
yes, they get very excited. So
Yeah. In addition to scholarships, I hear rumors that music bingo is coming back again this year. That was super fun last year. I was no help to my table mates. Like I'm the worst at trivia of any kind, and music bingo is not my thing, but I bopped my head around and I had a lot of laughs, and my teammates were very good at it. So we had a lot of fun. Tell us about what's happening this year.
yes, so we are bringing back our music bingo, and it's the closing night of our 37th John McElhenney Memorial Auction, which will be online starting April 4th. The music bingo event is Friday, April 11th at the Woburn Country Club. Tickets are $25 a piece or 200 for a table of 8 to 10. You can buy them on our website again, or you could email me. And we're really looking forward to it. A great DJ, great songs, hopefully another 90s round. My fingers are crossed for that. So it should be a great time.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really important fundraiser to help support the good work that you guys do there. And of course, we could not end our discussion without talking about Kindness Day, which is coming up. And there's always some great ways to support the work of the Council's Concern does. This year is no exception. Tell us a little bit about, I know we'll be doing collection boxes at the fire stations. Tell us about the kinds of things you're hoping to collect in those drives.
Yes, so there will be a collection basket at all of the fire stations. The food pantry takes any non-perishable food that is within date. So it has to be before its expiration date. Specifically, we are looking for, we have a big need for cold cereal, for oatmeal with flavors, for jarred pasta sauce, and for canned meat, tuna, chicken, spam. Those are our biggest deficits right now. But again, any and all food is appreciated. And we are doing a special partnership with Inclusive Eats. I don't know if you want to introduce that.
Go for it. You're
Okay.
doing awesome. Keep it going.
So we're partnering with Inclusive Eats and Know Your Neighbor Woburn this year for a spice drive. And you can find, I think there's been links posted for where to buy the spices. We see a very diverse crowd at our food pantry, and it's great for them to have spices that are traditional to their region of cooking and their style of cooking. So we want to make that a little more inclusive. A lot of our food is, geared towards an American palate, which is great, but also we want to, branch out for that. Plus, spices are very shelf stable and last forever. So it's a good thing for them to have. And we appreciate any donations for that this year.
I love that. And really, spices make the difference between sort of I'm eating what I could get at the pantry and I'm making food that feels like family and feels like home, or just trying something new. And they're also very expensive, right? They
Yeah.
tend to be something that if I'm struggling and, money's tight, going to sport for some extra special powders or cinnamon sticks even, those things add up. So this is a wonderful way to allow people to take the amazing stuff that they're taking from the pantry and really turn it into an amazing and enjoyable meal.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all the different spices that we get. So
Yeah, I had a little field trip with Kara Young class. She took me to Penzies, which unfortunately is not in Woburn. I wish it was. Which is for those who've never been, it's a all spices. That's all they sell. And we did it, so I wanted to stock up a little bit for the spice drive, and I'd never been there before. And they have a big mural on one wall that says "Be kind." So I thought that was a good sign that the spice drive was the right thing for Kindness Day. And
yes,
I'm really excited to see all the donations that you get that are
yeah.
there because you really help feed families, and we're grateful for that.
And I do want to shout out also Victoria Gourmet, a great spot to get spices. They donate boxes to us for our emergency boxes. So they're a good supporter of the council. So another option for your spice purchases.
I'm so glad you mentioned it. I always looking for places to spice up here in Woburn and make sure that we try new things. And I came home and I handed off a little bag, and in the bag was like 6 different spices I'd never bought before. And I handed them to one of my kids, Jonathan, who loves to cook and loves to experiment. And it was like, oh wow, what's this for? I'm like, I have no idea. Just go play.
Yeah, have fun.
Have fun. So it's a nice little luxury. Thank you for joining us and catching
Yes.
us up on all the ways that we can support the important mission that you have.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Next up, we're going to talk some more about good and important work. Jana, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm really grateful to have you here. Last Friday, we held our first session together at the New Community Resource Center. You are a legal expert on lots of housing issues, and we said, let's run a pilot. Let's see if anybody shows up and asks for help. Ha ha ha. We knew the answer ahead of time. We knew lots of people need help. And we're
Yes,
super grateful for you being there. It was a very busy first day. We know that it will continue to be busy because housing is expensive and challenging and hard to find. And you guys are an amazing resource to help us. I thought it would
thank
be
you.
useful to have you talk a little bit about the kinds of things that you can help address in this time together.
Sure. So we are in the community over, I think it's 35 times a month now in all different community locations. And what we bring to each location is a little bit different. So for the time that we spend at the Woburn Resource Center, which is just such an amazing and beautiful space that you've
Thank you.
created, I'm so happy to be there. It's really nice. So I will meet with clients. I'll talk to them about what's going on with their particular situation. Housing Families has a very holistic model of kind of understanding the bigger picture of what's going on in people's lives because we know that housing issues are not just housing issues. Usually they're born of a lot of different things that are going on in a family or an individual's life. So we want to know about everything that's going on. Do they have enough food? Do they have, we ask all those questions. How's their health insurance? Do they need a connection for another support? Do they need something to help with a benefit? Or are they food insecure? So we want to know all of that when we're meeting with a client. And then we will make referrals, we'll offer brief advice, we'll talk through a situation, we'll help navigate. Depending on the resources that we have available, we might offer to represent them in something or do another legal piece to help move their situation forward. So I'm always thinking about moving the trajectory of someone's story, moving it in a positive direction.
Excellent. Thank you. You're there 12 to 3 on Fridays. Do I have that right?
Yes, 12 to 3 on Fridays.
Great. And we do encourage people can definitely walk in because you're there once a week. It is busy, so people can also make an appointment ahead of time, and
Mm-hmm.
they can do that by contacting me, and then we'll help coordinate that and get that on the schedule. And so they can also go to the website where we have appointments for the resource center overall, and there's a question that says, "What would you like some assistance with?" And just say housing,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get that routed to the right folks. But we're really grateful to have you with us. There was a lot of slightly relieved faces walking out of your office on Friday. We know these are
Oh,
big, complex challenges. And to your point, while they're there, we're also able to provide assistance for other things to help them, both through Jana, the works that you do, but other organizations that we partner with. We certainly connect a lot of people to the Council of Social Concern, where Amanda just was, and other
amazing.
food services in the community.
That sounds great. And I'm looking forward to getting to know those very Woburn specific resources. That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah. So not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. We did this as sort of a little pilot, assuming that we keep you as busy as we have been. Is this something you might be able to support us on for, sort of longer beyond the 5 or 6 weeks that we booked out so far?
Yeah, so that would be something I would be really interested in. I would
Great.
take it back to my leadership and just talk about it and make sure that that's okay with everybody back at our office too. But that is
Yeah.
something that I would love.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Jana, thank you so much. We will see you on Friday, if not
See
sooner.
you on Friday. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Speaking of good deeds, next up, Sarah, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sarah's with Mission of Deeds. You guys do amazingly important work to help people who maybe are in a home, maybe they've moved, maybe they had a fire, maybe they've just had an unusual circumstance that has sort of made their life a little bit different and challenging. And you guys provide furnishings and home goods to make the house a home. And we know how important that is. I did see recently that they were specifically looking for couch donations. I don't know if there are other things that you want to mention before we dig into the fun gala news.
Yes. So, this time of year is difficult. It is now just starting to get to be warmer, so people are thinking about spring cleaning. But in the winter months, many people aren't cleaning out. And so we were definitely low on couches. When we put out that call to the community, it got shared, I think, 130 times. So we got a huge round of couch donations, but we have 3, 4, 5 clients coming in every day shopping through our warehouse. And so we are always in need. So couches, kitchen tables, end tables, lamps, used dish sets. We'll take any of those off of your hands, and we offer free pickup in 11 surrounding towns, Woburn being one of them. So you just have to call and schedule a pickup, and we will come get some of those big items for you and give them a second home.
That's fantastic, as I know it's often challenging for people to transport items, and there aren't a lot of organizations that will come pick up. So we're grateful that you guys do that extra step. I'm so happy to hear that people, not surprised, but happy to hear that people responded to that call for couches. The community tends to support each other. And so I think that's a really good indication. Now, there's another way we can support the organization besides our spring cleaning is you have a really fun golden ticket gala. Did I get that name right?
You did. Our Golden Ticket Gala is next Friday, March 21st at Spinelli's in Linfield. We hold a gala as our spring fundraiser every other year. And we are doing kind of a loose Willy Wonka themed Golden Ticket Gala this year. So we will be selling chocolate bars at the event, and one of them will have a golden ticket in it. And that winner will be able to walk away with any silent auction item that's out on the table. We have 35 amazing silent auction items and 5 fabulous live auction items. So tickets are on sale through next week. And we would love for anybody in the community, even if you've never heard of us before, to come support us because so much of the money is raised there, and a large portion of the ticket price are going directly to people in need.
I think what a fun theme. I love that. And who doesn't love chocolate? That's going to be an enjoyable experience. What are some of the auction items that are, I think I read about some really fun ones.
Yeah. So some of our live auction items, we have a week-long trip in Orlando at a Marriott timeshare. We have a signed Bruins jersey that's framed and autographed by all of the 24 team from last year. We have a make your own Holy Cow ice cream flavor. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Holy Cow in Woburn, but we love it. It's up by the North Shore Mall and also in Dennisport and up in Salem. It's delicious ice cream, and both my kids have won this auction item in the past, so it's near and dear to my heart. But it comes with 30 custom pints of ice cream. Um, we also have an 8-person.
Sarah, I just have to stop you because the only person who watches this is my mom and maybe my husband will get this. Ice cream is like my ultimate. Like I cannot not have if there is ice cream anywhere within, 100 yards of me, I'm going to eat it. It's like a toast. So that is like the dream prize. I can't even
So
imagine.
maybe you need to come bid on it.
I think I need to find a way to bid on it. That's amazing. I love it. Where can folks get tickets for the night?
Yeah, so right on our website, there's a link, but it's also missionofdeeds.org/gala is our ticket sales link.
That's fantastic. I think that's awesome. Any other prizes, any other auction items you want to mention?
No, I just want to say we're super grateful to all of our sponsors, and the local community has really stepped up, all the way from some of our larger banks in the area to just small, startup businesses. Just people have really rallied and been very generous with offering all of these auction items. So when you get all of these things donated, then 100% of the proceeds are coming back. So it's fabulous. So thank you to the entire community.
Thank you for joining us, Sarah. This sounds like a lot of fun, but also more importantly, goes to an incredibly good cause. I've personally referred 3 or 4 people in the last 6 months to you guys, and they've had an incredibly generous experience with you. Extremely grateful, 2 of which were victims of fires and had lost a lot of their belongings and were sort of facing starting over. And this was a way to provide an awful lot of relief and take some stress off of folks who had been through some pretty traumatic experiences.
That's great to hear. It's a very feel-good organization, and I'm passionate about the cause, and honored to work for it.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Woburn, as always, please continue to take good care of each other.